Judge My Accent, a place on Reddit where English learners can get their accent judged.
Wow. So who's my next victim?
I'm just kidding. I'm here to help you and judge your accent so that you can improve your accent and speak more like a native English speaker with an American accent. Let's go. All right, so in this episode, it's going to be recorded live, so it's not going to be fully edited like the intro, but I'm going to be reviewing a voice message from an English learner. He is a speaker, or he speaks an Indian language, and he has an almost native accent. And he asked me, Jessie, can you listen to a voice note and tell me what doesn't sound American so that I can, work on what isn't correct yet? Well, correct in the sense of not yet American sounding. So I'm going to be listening to maybe a minute or two of this, give some feedback. And it's about 6 minutes, so I won't listen to the full thing. But I have listened to this, and I gave some feedback in my other video where I shared his advice on how to achieve a perfect accent. So if you want to watch that, check down the description to learn how to have an almost native accent, get his advice. If you're watching the replay, it'll be down below, but let's get into this.
Hey, Jesse, how you doing? Ari here, and I'll try to answer certain questions he had for me on Instagram, and I'll try my best to answer it. And
Okay, I'm going to stop it right there. I never noticed this the first time because I have done an accent review for this guy. It almost sounds kind of twangy. Like, I don't know which American accent or who you're listening to, but there's something that kind of sounds a little bit Southern. It's not bad. My accent is kind of like my try. Not bad. It's not bad, but just know that I do kind of hear a twangy. I think it's kind of Southern. It's not bad, but just know that that's what I think I'm hearing. Again, quick disclaimer, when I work with people, with clients, I'm constantly assessing their accent. So this isn't fully reflective of what it's like to work with me because I'm just listening to this like once or twice.
so, yeah, let's get started. I'm kind of a little bit nervous because I have to raw dog this entire voice note, but anyway, let's get started.
Okay, remember when I said that you kind of say O instead of O? Voice note, I'm hearing it. So just so you know, it's still a sound that exists in your day-to-day speech, I think.
The first question was, how did I get to this level with my accent? And basically, the story starts when I was 14 years old, about to be 15. And at that time, the way that I was reading and writing in English were kind of decent. But when it came to talking in English,
When it came to, I'm hearing the two. Okay, so it's to or to, depending on if you're reducing it or not.
really bad, like really, really bad. And I wanted to get better. And so I thought that, what do I do to get better? And then I basically thought that, you know what, we're going to sit down in my computer. I'm going to press the record button and we're just going to record this. We're going to start this, episode series where
We're going to start, I'm hearing the ooh. I can't fully mimic you, but we're going to start the, podcast. Oh,
every day I come in my computer, I record a new episode for like 12 minutes. And
did I hear episode or sewed? I'm not sure what I heard, but you can watch the replay and listen for it.
talk about anything I want to talk about, and that's supposed to improve the way that I talk in English. And it did improve me. Like for months, I was doing that, and I had gotten really good from the point I started. But then basically after like some time, I was like, well, I sound a little bit weird because a major part of me sounds Indian, and I still had like an Indian accent. But then this other part of me really didn't sound Indian. And it was, to me, at that time, I really couldn't identify whether it was American, British, or blah, 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 anything. But it was certainly not Indian. And then I was like, how did I get it? But now looking back at it, I think I used to consume a lot of Western content,
I used to consume, I think I'm kind of hearing that British like sound that I'm talking about. So
I think I'm just gonna play it up to there. That's about 2 minutes, I think. So I would say if you want to improve your accent, um, let's keep working on the O, or the O sound. Improve, ooh, and then no, go, right? So it's not British sounding. It's the same as what I said in my last video. So if you guys are watching the replay, I'll put the link to that one video below because I I share that more in depth. But I'm just giving some quick feedback on this live. And then, like I mentioned, there are some mistakes that I hear. I hear you make. That's the kind of English mistakes that are unnatural for a native speaker. So, for example, you mentioned delete habits. I didn't play it in this clip, but uh, instead of saying delete habits, we say get rid of habits. When we say delete, we're talking about like deleting things off of like a computer or a phone, deleting an application, deleting a photo. But if we're talking about in the real world, like we could say get rid of a photo, get rid of this habit, you know, or undo the habit. I would say get rid of the bad habit. And then there's some other things that you said that didn't quite sound natural, but I mentioned it in my other video that I just recorded on this live, so I will send that to you as well. But no, it's pretty good. I do hear kind of like a little bit of a twang, my instead of my. I'll listen to it a little bit more to see if I can hear it.
Since I was a child. And I think my brain kind of internalized a lot of those sounds and started to subconsciously incorporate it. And then I was basically in between both of these things. And I really didn't like the way that I communicated. And then I thought that, you know what, I'm going to pick the American accent and I'm going to start learning it. And I'm trying to kind of make things proper. And this is how I started. And I obviously, did this.
Speak, oh,
Now let's move on to the main question, which is how
move on to. I kind of hear that. Move on to. Move on to. Move on to.
I actually did it. And that was by basically at the start, I was
See, I'm hearing that too. By instead of by. Again, the one that I just corrected, the by, it's not bad. It just sounds more twangy, which is kind of the pronunciation that you'll hear in the South. Again, you could decide if you want to keep that in your accent. That's okay. It is American. It's just not the accent that I typically expect when it's more general. All right, I'm going to check out the comments here. Again, if you're watching this as a clip, there should be a video popping up here, so feel free to click it. And I'm going to move on to